Hi, welcome back to the channel, and today we're in the mountain village of Turbie, and we've come here to discover whether the Bluetti AC200max is the ultimate solar charging system for a Citroen Ami. So before we open this fantastic box, quick thank you to our friends at Bluetti who have sent us this solar generator system for review, but also a little coda to say that they haven't told us what to say. So we are going to independently assess this beast. Let's tuck in. So this is the bit I like best, sticking my scissors in. Opening the box, being very careful, of course, not to damage the equipment. But this is quite an exciting delivery. I'm not sure the man from the DPD, our delivery guy, was that impressed trying to lift it out of the van. But anyway, here we go. Let's have a look at what's inside the box. So, on the top here, we've got Bluetti. I'm imagining our warranty and instruction booklet. Here it is, all the instructions you could want. Nice little Bluetti bag with cables in. So there are all our solar charging cables to attach to our solar panels. There's something to attach to a cigarette lighter so you could charge this beast up from that. And this looks like the power supply. This is the power brick. So presumably this goes into here, and this is our means of charging this generator from the mains. But of course, what we're going to do today is attempt to use it with the power of solar. Solar power. It's the future. I am the future. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get her out of the box. Let's put this stuff down on the floor so we don't blow away, don't lose our bits. Nothing worse. Do you remember when you were a kid and you used to get a Christmas present and then you'd undo the box and you'd pull all the wrong things out and you'd lose your batteries and there'd be no shops open till 31st and you'd be really upset. That happened to me a lot. Anyway, here she is. This is the Bluetti. This is going to be quite a thing to lift out. I think I'm going to lift the box onto the floor. Hopefully not doing my back in. Oh! This is very definitely a beast. I think it's 27.5 kilos in weight. Oh, Charles Atlas has got nothing on me. Younger viewers will have no idea who Charles Atlas is. I think he made maps. Oh! He was the world's strongest man. He was terribly muscular. So here it is. This is, hope the table stands up, the Bluetti AC200max. Now, if you're looking at this thing and thinking, I'm not a technical person, I really have no interest in solar power and all these technicalities, well, I'll explain this in layman's terms. This is the modern equivalent of a generator, a Jenny. You remember those things your dad used to take camping and he'd pour some fuel in the back and there'd be all this smelly smoke come out and you powered up your TV, your little black and white portable when you went camping, you know, to your static, when you went to your static in Bridlington. Well, this is the modern version of that. This is clean, green, mean and powers by the sun. So let's take a look at it. Let's first power it on. Press that button and we go green. Should tell you just how much capacity this thing has. It has 2,048 watt hours of power. This is like the world's biggest extra iPhone battery. This is like a humongous extra iPhone battery. Bear in mind that 700 watt hours is 1 horsepower. So 3 times. There's 3 horses in here. Equivalent of 3 horses. Shergar times 3. But can you see, Mr. Boo, this the touch screen. On that touch screen, you literally have got the means to control everything. You can turn on the AC output, you can turn on the DC output, you can see how much input you're getting from the solar charging, you can see how much draw your various devices are taking out of it, you can see how much charge it's got left, and also it comes with a Bluetti app. And the Bluetti app means that you don't have to bend down and look at that touch screen because it's all on the app. It is only Bluetooth though, not Wi-Fi. So you've got to be within range, but it's a very good way of controlling it without, you know, doing your back in. So let's have a look at what we've actually got on here. Well, over this side we have 4 220 volt pure sine wave inverter power. What does pure sine wave inverter power means? It means that if you are using things like TVs, things that need a very, very fine power source, in other words, not that's you've got any variation in, these will supply it. So in other words, this is supplying, in theory, as pure a source as your domestic sockets are. So you could use this to power your tiny house, or your medium-sized house, or sections of your house. We may come back to that in a later video. But so here are your 4 sockets. So into here you can plug your various devices. Here you have 2 USB-A's. Those are standard charging sockets for perhaps your old laptops or your old computers. You've got here 2 18-watt USB-A's, so that's fast USB charging for your old laptop, your own computers. Here you've got a super fast USB-C, so if you attach a cable to here and put it into, say, your iPad Pro or your new iPad or your drone or whatever, or your iPhone or your Android phone, it will charge it very fast. Here you've got 12 volt DC output. Here you've got another 12 volt 30 amp output. I confess I'm not sure what I would do with that one. I think it might be for boaties. So you've tons and tons of options on here.
And what's on top?
Oh, well reminder, Mr. Boo. On top here you have got 2 fast 15 watt outputs, so you can charge your iPhones on the top there. Now, in order to make any of these things work, you have to use the touchscreen and you have to decide to press DC on, and that will power these up, or AC on, and that will power these up. And as far as I understand it from reading online, I think the best way to do that is to plug in your device here and then power up the Bluetti, rather than causing any kind of power surge, which might trip it. But in theory, it does have inbuilt a sort of trip system that if that happens, it will reset itself and you can power it on again. So it's a kind of fuse box without a fuse, if you know what I mean. And then on this side here, Mr. Boo, we have the inputs, and this is where you are going to bring in your power. So here is where you will attach these cables, which Bluetti have very neatly supplied in this little Velcro thingy. Put that in my pocket, it might blow away. So we've got here a means of powering it from a cigarette lighter in a car. So if you had a normal car, not a Citroen Ami, with a cigarette lighter, you could put this alongside you in the car, drive along and power this thing back up. You can also actually power this back up from a 12 volt battery, but I think it might take about 28 years, but it is an option. But interestingly, and this is the bit that we're really interested in, is the solar. So you push this into here, you can't get it wrong, there's only one way to get it right, and then you tighten that onto there. And this cable is then going to magically attach to your solar panels. Now, this machine can take 900 watts input of solar. So that is quite a lot of solar energy going in. And in theory, the great thing is you can use it at the same time. So it means that you are taking it out and you are putting it in. And of course, if you are only taking out, say, less than 900, then this thing is gaining in capacity as you are going. So you are self-sustaining. So you are powering your devices via the sun, absolutely free. And well, given the way energy bills are going, it's a good idea, isn't it? But the other thing that you can do, which is to attach the solar panels, and then you can also use the power brick, the Bluetti power brick, this thing here, and that will give you a 1400 watt input, which means in theory you are going to charge this thing from flat in about 2.5 hours. So this is the socket that you would use if you put in a separate power brick on, as well as the solar. And these two sockets, you're probably thinking, what are these for? Well, these are to enable you to add extra batteries. You can actually add capacity to this thing. So you can buy a separate battery which has exactly the same amount of capacity as this. It's sort of about that big. And you can even add a third one up here. So you could end up with a sort of tower system which, you know, could well power a small house or a flat for a day. And perhaps later on in the season of our videos this year, we might even attempt to do that. But today we're going to concentrate on the car. First off, let's see if this fits in a Citroen Ami, because it's quite bulky, it's quite a beast, and if you're going to take this thing round with you, then it has to be convenient. So, time to lift this 27 kilo beast into the Elton and see how it fits or not. Let's see. Well, it certainly goes into there. Not a lot of room for the passenger's legs. What would be a dream, Mr. Boo, wouldn't it? It was if it were to fit in the suitcase holder there.
Yes, that would be very smart.
That would be better. Let's have a go. Wowzer, it's a very near. Is it a very near miss or a very near hit? Let's see. It really is. I've been thinking about this so much as to whether it would actually fit in this bit, because it would be so much easier, but I'm afraid it's a no. If this thing was just a tiny bit narrower, Bluetti, just a tiny bit narrower, it would fit right into the corner. Can you see in there? Yep. And really would not be a problem at all, because the passenger's legs could go here and you got no issue. But I just don't think, because it gets narrower in there, you can quite push it in. So what you are going to have to do, if you are traveling with it, is travel with it there. Now that's pretty stable. You could I guess secure it with the seatbelt or something, couldn't you? But let's just see how that is for our legs. Well, I mean, it's a reclining seat, isn't it? If there are two of you. But if you were going on a journey where you're going somewhere and you know that there isn't a charger, this is a compromised situation, then this could go here. And you'd have to keep your legs up. If, of course, you're traveling solo, then why not? This is your passenger. Now, you might be thinking, well, 27 kilos, hey, that's a heavy weight. Well, of course, your passenger's probably about 70, 80 kilos, depending on
Steady on
how much Mr. Boo's been eating. And I think, according to the Citroen manual, the maximum weight they recommend is for the passenger and cargo, I think, is about 140. I think I'm right in saying that. I think I saw that the other day. So you would come in underweight. Now, I wonder if you were to put it sideways, whether it becomes more comfortable for the passenger or less. Well, you could have just one leg up, couldn't you? It's actually quite comfy, that, and you can recharge your thighs. So solar. But anyway, that is how this thing fits in. As I say, it is a beat away from fitting in the suitcase holder. Okay, so that's how it fits, but the most important thing is, does it charge? What we're going to do now is rig up our solar panels, and then we're going to plug in from here our Citroen Ami into one of these sockets, and then we're going to see A, does it charge, and B, we're going to find out just how much extra autonomy the Bluetti AC200max can provide our Citroen Ami. So for our purposes today, I am going to try and wire 3 of these Bluetti solar panels into this system. This should in theory provide us, I think, with about 360 watts of input. Now it is actually possible to get solar panels that provide a lot more power than this. You don't have to do 3, but you can actually get some that will take you up to the full 900. So that might be a better option, but they are a little bit more expensive. Talking of expense, I haven't really talked about how much this thing costs. The generator, I think if you were to click on the link in our description below, there's a special offer, and I think it comes in at around 2,100, 2,200 euros, and then you've got these solar panels. So it's an investment, but if you were using this thing regularly, if you were using this thing to power things in your home, then it's an investment that with the current electricity prices might just pay off. You could be able to stick 2 fingers up to Liz Truss. I mean, not that I'd ever do anything like that. Anyway, let's set up these solar panels. So these little executive briefcases, as I called them last time, open out and become a magical solar system. And behind here you've got these little Velcro props, which you then have to open out and prop up your, well, it's a solar farm I'm setting up. I mean, this is not just any old solar, this is 3 lots of solar panels. Old Tim Fountain had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he built some solar panels, E-I-E-I-O. So there is panel number 1. We might speed this bit up by the magic of television. Okay, so we're going to try and wire all these together. So as I understand it, you take the red from here and you add it to the black here. And that should bring that one into there. You leave that cable out the other end. You then take the red from our second solar panel and you bring it into the black from here, like that. And now you take the 2 on the extremities, the black and the red of the first 2, and if we're lucky, you plug the red into here and you plug the black into here. Well, that in theory is it all wired up. Let us now see if we turn it on, and more importantly we look at the app, because it is very difficult to see the screen in this bright sunshine. Let us see if we've actually got some charge going in. Let's connect the Bluetooth app. There it is, connect. And at the minute we're getting 150 and going up, 153, 160. Can you see that? Maybe bring it into the shade. That's better, we can see it. 209. So we've got 219 going in. You see that?
Yep.
216, 213. The sun's coming back out. We've been in a bit of cloud. Yeah, we're now going up to sort of 234, 235. So I think with sunshine you'd easily be over 300 or at around 300 watts going back in. But as I say, if you get bigger solar panels, you can put 900 watts back into that. So let's just get it back to full charge, and then what we shall attempt to do, plug Elton in, hopefully we don't blow it, and we will see just how much extra autonomy we can take out of that battery. We've now brought our Bluetti back up to 100%, and we are now going to try plugging in our Citroen Ami. Now, the last time we tried this with our smaller little Bluetti, the AC503, it went pop. And yes, it's come on.
Really?
And it's gone off. Fault E36. It was simply that this has too much of a draw, too big a surge, and it triggered the inverter. I'm hoping this doesn't happen to the Bluetti. Word of warning, this Bluetti is right out in the sunshine here. It shouldn't be really, but it's the only way we can show you it. But here we are, pulling out the old Hoover cable of our Ami, and we're going to plug it into one of these AC sockets. The unit's off, yeah. So that's safely plugged in. We're going to power up the unit, and then via Bluetooth, there we go, and it will tell you how much capacity we've got in it, back up to 100%.
Mega.
And we're going to turn on the AC, and the car should start to charge. 50 watts being drawn, 150 watts being drawn. Do you want to just look around there, Mr. Boo, check it's on charge? Have a look. Of course, when it's on charge, you always get the red brake light pops up, and it tells you how long to a full charge. Now, we just checked earlier, it was 48 kilometers of autonomy we had in the battery. Definitely charging.
Definitely charging.
We're a draw now on this app of 728. Do you want to come and get this, Mr. Boo? 728. We're now up to 951, 1034. So if there is any, let's see how high this goes. Previously with the other AC503, by this stage it had already gone pop. It was simply too much for it, but this is a beast of a machine. We're now up to 2000 watt draw, 2049 watts. The car is drawing. The Bluetti fan has kicked in. Cape Canaveral is about to achieve liftoff. 2051, so that looks like that's about the peak draw of the car. So we're going to leave this now and observe it on the app. We're going to move the Bluetti out of the sun, because I don't think it's good leaving it in the bright sunshine in this 32-degree heat. And we're going to see how long it takes to completely drain the Bluetti battery. Let's see how much range we can add to the Citroen Ami with the Bluetti AC200max. Okay, so we've now dropped to 90%, and that's in 5 minutes. So the Bluetti is now down to 80%, and we are at 116, should I say, to full charge. So we're now at 60%, and we've done that in 20 minutes. So whilst we're waiting to drain the Bluetti and to find out just exactly how much range it has managed to add to our Citroen Ami, what do we think of this battery? Well, the plus points so far, the first big one is that it's actually working with the Ami. The last one didn't. It's certainly coping with the draw. It's currently drawing 2095 watts, and even in this heat, the Bluetti is dealing with it. It has an incredible amount of sockets and versatility. If it will charge a Citroen Ami, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to put a power saw, a power tool in. You may even be able to put an air conditioning unit into it. We might try that in a later video. And you can add these extra batteries, which would enable you to actually solar power quite a lot of your life and save quite a lot of money. It's a big investment in the first instance, but it could be a money saver. The downside, well, it is big, it is heavy, it's 27 kilos. You could kind of need a trolley to move it round, really. The touch screen, great idea having all that information. It is virtually unreadable in bright sunlight. However, this app does everything you need to do and is very clear. It's on your phone, you can move away from the Bluetti and you can see exactly what's going on. And actually it gives you a kind of an awful lot of peace of mind, because you're looking at it, you can see how much solar's going in, you can see how much solar's going out, how much power's going out. You can check that everything is working as it should be. We just reached 50%. This thing is expensive, there's no question it is an investment, but it is an investment that could save you quite a lot of money. And whilst we're waiting for the Bluetti to discharge, just a quick reminder that if you want to support the channel, you can by clicking the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below the video. As the little man said when he weed in the sea, every little helps. So, Mr. Boo cameraman, what's your guess as to how much range the Bluetti will add in the end? Don't forget, we started at 48 kilometres.
Okay, Carol Vorderman brain going. So it's adding, how many minutes have we added? Oh, I think it's gonna get to 68%, the whole thing. The whole battery is gonna take us to 68 kilometres.
68 kilometres, yes, not percent, yeah. So you think we're going to add 20 range?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll quite get to 20.
I think we get to 20.
Let's see. The Bluetti's losing 2% of power every minute. So in theory, it should be around 50 minutes for a total drain. So we're coming up to 6% and 5%, 1% now, and we're just about dead on 50 minutes. So the Citroen Ami has discharged the Bluetti in almost exactly 50 minutes.
Does it make a beep or anything when it's empty?
I don't know, I've never emptied it. Let's see. It's 0. So there it is, it's gone off. Okay then, the moment of truth. Let's unplug the Ami and then let's see how much range the Bluetti has added. There's it unplugged. There's the Bluetti, all happy. Round to the driver's side. So you think 20 kilometres of range will be added, Mr. Boo?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Turn on the old jam jar, can you see that? Can you see the thing? Yeah?
Yeah, I can see.
Here we go. Oh, Mr. Boo, that's amazing. So it's added, it's gone from 48 to 70. So it has added 22 kilometres of autonomy. 22 kilometres. Now bear in mind, if you had plugged in the solar and it was full capacity solar running at the same time, I think you would have managed to get from 48 to 75 to maximum capacity. So 22 kilometres of range have been added by the Bluetti. That's more impressive than I expected, isn't it you?
Me too.
But Mr. Boo wins the lottery.
So what do I get?
Northern pessimism, I thought only 17. So anyway, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that video about the Bluetti. If you have, please give us a like, please give us a comment, please think about buying us a coffee. Have a great week, everyone. We shall see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
2 a.m. in the car playing our favorite song. Turn it up, windows down, we sing along. The summer night even.